All right, welcome back to Problem Solver Politics. I am your host, Cardin Ellis, with Cody the Oracle.
Hey, everyone. How you doing?
And Andrew Yang is on Twitch.
Has been, yeah.
Or has been, and Twitch is now a political thing. Cody, lead us off. Tell us what's going on.
Yeah, well, I'm not quite sure it's quite there yet, but it is getting more closer and closer to that. Right now, as far as I know, there's two presidential candidates running in 2020 as Democrats that currently are on Twitch. That'd be Bernie Sanders and Andrew Yang. Bernie Sanders, I don't believe, has appeared actually streaming himself playing a game. And actually, really quickly, if you don't know, Twitch is a website that is used primarily for the streaming of video games.
Talking to girls.
Well, I mean, they've added more to it. And there's plenty of girls that are on Twitch, but I'm throwing it on screen right now if people aren't familiar. For example, right now, Kevin James is sitting down with someone else speaking about something with his video games. I mean, this platform has grown a lot over the years to the point now where if you look at the most popular groups of video games that are being streamed or whatever, you look, we have 96,000 in one, 94 in another, 70, 66. Here's the interesting one, just chatting, which is people who aren't actually playing video games, but it's like podcasts or something, 61,000.
It's like Twitch's version of YouTube is just chatting, basically.
There's a lot of YouTube content people playing video games, but no, it's more like, for example, sometimes streamers, after they finish streaming video games, will stop and they'll turn the game off and they'll just talk to their chat.
Yeah.
They'll go under just chatting. There's podcasts that'll go under just chatting. What's really fascinating about this, though, is we have two candidates for president that have accounts. I believe Bernie Sanders' staff have done a stream under his account. Andrew Yang has done, I believe, 4 total streams. See if I can pull
Bernie
this up.
Sanders' staff and the Kremlin did a stream on behalf of his campaign.
There's a bit of a gaffe there. One thing I just want to point out with Andrew Yang.
Hold on.
He made his account. One second. Andrew Yang made his account about a year ago on Twitch. What I thought is very fascinating. You look at the streams he has done on Twitch, and I believe these are referring to 2018. I have to admit the dating here is a little bit vague. However, he did an hour-and-a-half stream that had 54 views. I have to imagine if Andrew Yang did a Twitch stream for 90 minutes in 2019, July, he'd have more than 54 views and 25 active viewers. But here's the thing, too. Speaking of how many viewers he would actually have, this is the last thing I want to get to before I go back to you. There was a market study done by Influencer Marketing Hub about what is Twitch as far as from this prospect of a marketer or presidential candidate.
I think most people know that Twitch is a video streaming platform, but we don't necessarily understand the market reach, the size, and the influence. And there's a massive generation gap between Twitch and the older generation. You know, Facebook has tons of boomers on it. YouTube. Anybody can access YouTube now. My 70-year-old great aunt with a smartphone is, watching old remixes of Elvis music videos that have dropped on YouTube, reliving her high school years. So Twitch, however, has not penetrated, I feel, into the older mainstream as much, so there's still a very large generation gap, but the numbers are impressive. What were those numbers that you were going over, Cody? I think you had a specific graphic that divulged a lot of
there was a study done by Influencer Marketing Hub of just what is the Twitch user base, right?
Yeah.
So let's go through it together. So 81.5% of Twitch users are male, so that is, you are losing a big part of the demographic there, and 80% are male. 55% of Twitch users are between the age of 18 and 34, which would be millennial voters. Yes, young voters.
And Gen Z now, because the oldest of Gen Z are now turning 2021.
Of course, so the same area. Twitch is between 2.2 and 3.2 monthly broadcasters. So that's active channels. 355 billion minutes watched. Here's some stuff. Here's another interesting thing I want to bring up, and this will actually bring us over to another point. $30+ million have been raised for charity by Twitch. And really quickly, I'm going to throw up on screen.
Wait, over $30 million?
Yeah, there's a really popular stream. There's 2 of them a year, I believe, officially referred to as Awesome Games Done Quick and Summer Games Done Quick.
Okay.
That are about week, 7 days-ish long, 24/7 charity runs of people doing speedrun games. And they raise money. I believe they raise consistently over $1 million twice a year now. Just those 2 events.
Dude, I feel like I'm not a guy that's in the cool club now that I figured out where the cool club is, man.
Well, one politician, hater or lover, seems to be on the right track with it. Alexandria Ocasio-Cortez appeared on a pretty popular Twitch streamer, H-Bomber Guy, I believe is the name, as he was streaming Donkey Kong 64 to help raise money for, I believe it was trans children that have been the subject of.
Did she play?
Yeah, Support Mermaids, a UK based charity. So yes.
Yeah. Did she accidentally slip up and play the Soviet
That was
national
Bernie
anthem
Sanders.
during? Oh, so she didn't commit the same error.
That was Bernie Sanders staff. No, hold
Would
up,
you
no,
like to
no,
educate our
important
audience?
Important distinction here. This was not a stream done by Alexandria Ocasio-Cortez, but it was a stream done by H. Bomber guy who's a popular streamer. She joined, I believe, by voice chat or something like that.
Okay, but could you educate our audience as to what this mishap with H3 Productions at exactly 3 minutes and 28 seconds of their...
I'll have the link in the description. This is the only evidence I found of it. I'm sure there's more. Bernie Sanders' staff, I believe, did a Twitch stream. Before the stream, they had some music playing. It was just kind of like American patriotic music. At the very last second, a few seconds of what appeared to be like USSR state music played. I'll have the link to the H3H3 video in the description. That's Ethan is the best evidence I have on it. Again, though, it's a goofy gaffe that had nothing to do really with Bernie Sanders, the politician, just a staff little gaffe.
So he's not the communist, but his staff members are.
No, but again,
there's no association
but hold on,
or correlation.
Really quickly, I want to get back to the study that was done. There's a couple other really important things I want to highlight.
Okay.
So, there was 95 minutes per day on average. Big for marketers, but just still,
Wow.
if you're trying to reach a lot of people, 95 minutes per day, an hour and a half a day, you have millennial voters on here. One thing I do want to bring up, though, that is important is that 21.32%, right? So a little over 21% of viewers are from the United States. So you are narrowing your voter base down. However, 62% of the activity is in English. A lot of numbers. Point being, there is a lot of Americans that are voting age that spend a lot of time on this platform. And right now, Bernie Sanders and Andrew Yang have created channels. They've both done kind of test streams. We haven't seen, and I know it sounds kind of goofy, but we haven't seen it yet. I think the first time we see someone running for president, sitting behind a computer, streaming themselves playing Fortnite, whatever the most popular game of the month is, there's going to be people who will say, I really didn't care about voting at all. I'm 19, 20 years old. I'm in college. But like, oh, that was funny. I know of this person. And I know of them because they streamed on Twitch. It will happen.
And we can't underestimate the impact that this has. There are measurable quantifiers that prove exactly what you're saying, Cody. It's been shown time and time again that first-time voters, if you track who they vote for in their first 3 national elections, if they vote for the exact same party in their first 3 national elections, there is an over 90% chance that they are going to be voting for the party that they voted for the first 3 times for the entire duration of their lives. I mean, when I went to college, the very first thing I got in the mail in my dorm mailbox was actually a Gillette 3 Mach 3 razor. And Gillette was marketing to me as a fresh 18-year-old new consumer out in the world, that razor. And you know what? It worked. To this day, despite their stupid commercials, I did stop using him for about 6 months. But at the end of the day, nothing gets these contours as well as the Mach 3. And I got hooked on it at a young age because I was given that freebie, that loss leader, right? So I have a lot of, I don't want to say faith, but I give a lot of respect to any of these candidates, any of the capitalists, any of the social influencers, anybody that wants to do anything for their cause, their movement, their whatever, that become the early adopters of these new technological waves, because I think it shows a certain amount of chutzpah, it shows a certain amount of oomph, it shows a certain amount of aggression, ambition, and a relevance to the youth and an understanding thereof, which I think is very important, especially in a society that is just absolutely beleaguered by generation gaps. You know what I'm saying? So anyway, I think it's great. I could see it as only being an absolute upside. And don't undervalue the international audience, because another thing I found is that Tip O'Neill was very famous back in the 80s during the Reagan administration for saying all politics are local. But no way. I don't believe that anymore. I mean, you got Katie Hill in Los Angeles who doesn't care about her district. She wants to go fight Trump. So it's not that all politics are local anymore. In fact, all politics are national. Now people are using local positions in order to fight national arguments. And I would even say we have actually gotten past that even, and international politics, okay? All politics are no longer local. They've become national, but now you want to a certain extent, I feel like they're international. There's an international left and an international right that has grown. The similarities between people that were frustrated with Brexit and people that were frustrated with the 2016 elections are very, very, very similar. You can't look at those and the arguments made by the right and the left in the UK as not being incredibly similar to the arguments made about the right and the left in America. So that international audience, though it may not be voting specifically because it doesn't have a social security number and doesn't have citizenship in the United States of America, it is indeed influencing. When Adolf Hitler first invaded Poland and Blitzkrieg began happening, one of the largest campaigns, social campaigns that America had engaged in, before he invaded Poland, was the government had actually encouraged immigrant families to write back to their European family members saying, don't support fascism, support capitalism, support freedom. You know, it's better in a capitalist system. There was actually a PR effort on behalf of the American government that immigrant families write letters back to their family members in Europe in order to influence them. So even though only 21% are here in America, don't underestimate the influence that this international audience would have. Else, why would Beto O'Rourke be in Mexico for 2 days?
No, but also it's important to, like you said, note 61% of the activity is in English. So English speakers tend to gather online in similar places. A couple things I want to point out. One, I'm sorry, this is a personal thing. I'm going to read a direct quote from Andrew Yang for President 2020. It says, my campaign's going live on Twitch tonight, July 18th, 2018 at 6:30 p.m. It's almost as fun as Dota, one of my favorite video games of all time. Andrew Yang calling it out by name or shouting it out by name. That does big for me. And the reason why I say that is because I guarantee I'm not alone, man. There's millions of people out there who's had like a presidential candidate talking about Dota. Who's this? And they would listen to him. A couple of things I want to get to, though, really quickly, is that Andrew Yang actually had his last stream. It was May of 2019, Tuesday the 14th, May 2019. So he streamed relatively recently. Only 4 total. It was only 15 minutes, this one. I definitely think there is room on that platform and in the kind of online gaming community. These kids, they're grown up. I mean, Andrew Yang, I believe, in his book talks about playing StarCraft and Warcraft and games like this. This is an audience. This is voters. And a lot of these people, I would say, if you're spending 90 minutes a day watching Twitch, I kind of, not in a disparaging way, but I question really how serious that person is about like keeping with politics, because well, I have to be honest, man. Like, you know, an hour and a half of your free time watching video games, how much are going playing it? And sometimes it's not a bad thing to just say, I have interests in hobbies that fulfill me other than politics. But reaching out to those people, I'm telling you, man, like knowing Andrew Yang is the only presidential candidate who's talked about Dota as a game is like a big plus for me.
Oh, he had you at Dota. Renee Zellweger? Oh, Tom Cruise had Renee Zellweger at Hello. But no, Andrew Yang had Cody the Oracle at Dota. Should I just end it right there and say this is problem solving politics?
If Andrew Yang streamed himself playing Dota on Twitch, I would work for his campaign. I'm saying that right now. If there's ever an Andrew Yang Dota 2 Twitch stream, I will volunteer to work for his campaign in the Southern California area. That's a promise.
Okay. I really hope I don't lose my co-host to a presidential candidate who streamed Dota.
Anyway. Higher calling, man.
Higher calling. Please, everybody, like, subscribe. Let us know what you think about this and about the early adoption of some of these social media platforms, whether or not you think it would pay off, and what Andrew Yang would have to do in order to increase his reach and improve his candidacy. Also, let us know if there's any subjects that you want us to study, and we love the research of these videos. And some of our best videos have come from suggestions in the comments box. So please let us know if there's anything you want to talk about. Also, let us know what you think about this video. Like, subscribe, share, and you can go to problemsolverpolitics.com. We got a donate button now. We've been receiving donations that way, and we've actually been solicited for merch. We've had quite a few people say, hey, Cardin, where can we get a copy? Not a copy, but where can we get one of your hats? So we're probably going to be starting to give out embroidered hats for a cheap fee. If you want a Problem Solver Politics hat, there's going to be a link on our website there as well. So like, share, subscribe. This is Problem Solver Politics.